Saturday night's going to be a lot more stressful.
COVID-19 has largely impacted on how we live our everyday lives. With going back to school, work, and other activities, how exactly are we going to be going back into our sports seasons? I talked to Hempfield's athletic director to discover what rules and regulations sports and activities have to follow.
Every school district in the state was required by the governor to create a health and safety plan. There's several components to it. Like the one component is social distancing. Like we need to make sure that our athletic staff and really the extracurricular staff and our student athletes are practicing good social distancing techniques. So we need to make sure that they're wearing face coverings when appropriate, that they're spread out when it's appropriate. We need to make sure that they're sanitizing things correctly. That's another part of it. So under that, you have to hold our coaches and student athletes to that health and safety plan.
Definitely. Before, it was kind of everybody would congregate around our big water jug there and kind of grab a handle and spray themselves. Now everybody has to have their own individual water bottle. If they do need water filled up, a coach or a manager has to do it, and the coach or manager has to have a glove on the dispensing tool to be able to spray the water into the water bottle. So even getting water is a different process, but we'll do whatever we need to do to be able to play.
There are a limited amount of spectators allowed to attend events.
For inside events, it's 25. So right now for girls volleyball, which was our only inside sport in the fall, we're allowed 25 people in our gym in order to have a volleyball match.
It's a lot different because we can't have spectators at our games yet. So hopefully that changes, but if it doesn't, it's going to be a lot harder to keep the energy up on the court.
Hempfield is working around the limited spectators by holding live streams on an athletic YouTube account.
We want them to watch our student athletes, so we're going to do all that we can to make that happen.
I know some of my friends are going to watch the game through YouTube, but it's a lot better to be there and be cheering for them.
With a limited amount of people allowed to be gathered indoors, volleyball is making sure they're staying on top of being safe.
Some extra precautions that I put in is we have to wear a mask while we're practicing. Not everybody does that with the outdoor sports, but since we're inside, I felt it was a little bit more safe for us to wear masks all the time. So that's a little bit of a challenge for the girls. They're still adjusting to doing that. And then at the end of practice, we wipe down the balls and some of the equipment. So that's pretty much the precautions that we're taking right now.
We get mask breaks, which we go outside, which we haven't done in the past. And we can't really have any team bonding activities outside of school just because of social distancing.
According to the American Lung Association, masks do not affect your breathing unless you have a pre-existing lung problem. But due to most of the fall sports being outside, the district is more lenient about not wearing masks during the field of play.
So, anytime that we're not actively engaged, we have to have masks on. So in the field of play itself, when the ball snapped, nobody needs to wear a mask. But, if you're on the sideline, you have to wear a mask. If you are in the locker room changing, you have to wear a mask. If you're walking to the weight room, you have to wear a mask. But, if the players are actually playing football, or when we lift, if they're actually lifting, they don't need a mask. But essentially every other time they do.
I think that it's a little bit of a distraction on their face and they're constantly messing with it, but I think once they get adjusted to it in a week or so, they'll be okay.
Sports like football are physically demanding on the athletes, and wearing a covering could possibly be harmful.
A lot of short burst energy where sometimes you lose your breath, and to not have free flow of air is dangerous. And some of our players have asthma, so it kind of really truly increases their danger. Even playing with a gaiter on, when it's around your neck, somebody could use it to pull you down and tackle it. And I know a lot of schools have encouraged their players not to wear gaiters during the field of play. While I do understand it from a point of view of health, being a football player myself and coaching these guys, it's truly not safe for them to have it on while playing.
The Hempfield School District is truly doing their best to ensure their students and staff's safety during extracurricular activities.
I'm just glad that my parents let me play and that they know that I'm safe out here.
From Hempfield Happenings, I'm Larissa Schaefer reporting.